Hello everyone, this is Calvin Castine. We're at West Plattsburgh American Legion Field for Adirondack Slow Pitch League A Division first round playoffs. Game 4 in a best of 5. Ubalds, Sunoco's, Garceau's Auto Sales are trailing in the series to Norm Baker & Sons by a 2-1 margin. A Baker & Sons win tonight and the series is over and they'll advance to the semifinals. Garceau's Auto Sales coming off a win earlier in the week, looking to tie the series now. Their game a couple nights ago was highlighted by the defensive play of their team manager, sponsor, and third baseman, Rick Garceau, who looked more like Brooks Robinson at his third base perch. It'll take a well-rounded game to defeat this Baker & Sons, the defending league champions. And they have their regular shortstop back tonight, John Amell, who was absent earlier in the week. And Ubalds, I keep saying Ubalds because that's their name for several years in the past, but they're now known as Garceau's Auto Sales. Garceau's Auto Sales has Chuck Palmer on the pitching rubber, Joe Plant, their regular pitcher, unable to be here. The Garceau's defense, Palmer pitching, behind the plate Jeff Rossell, first base Pete Harrigan, second base Ben Haley, shortstop Randy Davison, third base Rick Garceau, left field Mark Tatro, left center field, this is Johnny Mel batting here, left center field is Jeff Lamberton, right center field Jim Davison, and right field Jerry Davison. Umpires might make that Jim Buddha Garrett behind the plate. There's a strike. And Irish John Ireland on the bases. That's deep. Must win for Garceau's. And now line shot, sinking liner to Jim Davison. We have one out. Now to bring up the left fielder, Scott Baker. Palmer delivers. Baker takes inside, ball one. Bobby McCory on deck. Outside. Palmer mixing the pitches up. He thought he hit the plate that time, the mat. There's a strike. Another one to Davison. Gets under it. We have 2 outs. They'll bring up Bobby McCory now with Robin Vaughn waiting on deck. Inside, ball one. When Palmer leaves here, he'll rush down to the South Acres field to play for the Barcombs TV Club. Barcombs TV, the #1 team in the Gentlemen's League this year. He doesn't pitch for them, though. They have Joey Trombley as their starting pitcher, and the ball hit over Davison. And Trombley's backup is Dean Lombard. A 2-out double for Bobby McCory. Jim Davison playing in on him, and McCory burned him. Now bring up the Baker & Sons right center fielder, Robin Vaughn. And Roy Ebersole waiting on deck. Here's the pitch from Palmer. Inside, ball one. Strike. Just misses deep, 2-1. Strike 2. Too high, too much arc. 3-2, full count. First base is open. That's going to be in there. It'll be to the fence. Jim Davison will pick it up, and we're going to have a triple out of Robin Vaughn. And the first run of the ball game. And I'll bring up Roy Ebersole, the left center fielder, with Mike Boye, the second baseman, on deck. Palmer delivers. Strike one. Tatro back. Makes the catch. 1 run for Baker & Sons. As we go to the bottom half of the first with Garceau's coming to bat. Jerry Davison at the plate, leading off for Garceau's Auto Sales. Dave Champagne on the pitching rubber. Davison hits it to right center. Robin Vaughn over. He'll grab it for out number 1. Sherm Revidu behind the plate. Eric Kaiser at first. Mike Boyer at second. John Amell at short. Bobby McCory at third. Left fielder is Scott Baker. Left center fielder Roy Ebersol. Right center fielder Robin Vaughn. And the right fielder Ed Castine. This is Rick Garceau, the Garceau's Auto Sales third baseman. Takes it deep from Champagne. Ball 1. Inside, ball 2. Randy Davison on deck. There's ball 3, 3-0. Garceau takes strike 1. 3-1. Inside, ball 4. Garceau draws a walk. So Garceau has the tying run on. Baker and Sons fans arriving. Strike 1 from Champagne. Jim Davison waiting on deck. Just missed. 1-1. That's a base hit to right field. Castine with a good arm. A little while that time, but Champagne was there to haul it in. Batter now Jim Davison with Pete Harrigan moving on deck. Go ahead run on for Garceau's. 1 out. Bond grabs. Garceau draws a throw, but there's no advance. Davison, most feared hitter in the league, probably. He's got under that one. Hit 2 out the other game, the last game we were here. And this brings up Pete Harrigan, first baseman, with Jeff Rosell on deck. Champagne delivers. Harrigan hits it to left center. It's deep, but Ebersol's got it. And nothing across. It's 1-0 after 1 pull. Baker and Sons leading Garceau's Auto Sales.
Defense, come on.
Second baseman Mike Boyer takes strike 1. As we start the second inning in his 1-0 ball game, it just misses deep. 1-1. Ed Castine on deck. Hit to Tatro. 1 out. And it brings up the right fielder, Ed Castine. Ball 1. Strike 1. Hit to Garceau. Goes to Harrigan. We have 2 outs. And it brings up 3D. Dangerous Don Duval. He's the extra hitter in the Baker and Sons lineup. Strike. That's a base hit up the middle. Duval on with a single, and it brings up the pitcher, Dave Champagne. Champagne's going to take a pitch inside. Ball 1. There's a strike. 1-1. Goes the opposite way. Jerry Davison dances around and catches it. 43rd out, nothing across. After an inning and a half, it remains Baker and Sons 1 and Garceau's nothing. Jeff Rosell, the catcher, at the plate. Champagne delivers. Strike 1. Bottom of the second. It's hit to deep to right center field. Vaughn near the fence, pulls it down. We have one out. And brings up Budweiser Ben Haley, the second baseman.
Line drive, let's go. Let's find a hole, find a hole. Make him play the ball, make him play the ball here. Let's go. Line drive now. Come on, make somebody work. Play the ball.
Strike.
One shot, baby. Let's go now.
A hard hit to McCory. Throws it away.
Right there.
And Haley on a throwing error. And brings up Mark Tatro, the left fielder. Here's a pitch from Champagne. Tatro hits it to left center. And no advance. Haley will stop at first. 2 outs. And brings up Jeff Lamberton. Lamberton, an all-star back in the old Lake Champlain days. Played for Samples in the Gentlemen's League this year. Runners at first and second, and Chuck Palmer, the pitcher, steps in. He's going to drop in front of Vaughn. Haley, without good wheels, has to hold up. And the bases are loaded. If you have to ask who's the man most likely to get on base, you'd say the leadoff man, and that's who's up right now, Jerry Davison. Takes it outside, ball 1, bases loaded, 2 outs. Castine going back, in, dropped it. Everybody running, 3 runs crossed with 2 outs, everybody was going. Davison stops at second. It's a 3-1 ball game. Castine looked like he just couldn't get a good judgment on it. One of those, I think, that was hit directly toward him, and he couldn't get a bead on the arc and get a judgment on the distance because of that, and just squirted off the end of his glove. Rick Garceau, the batter now. Big strike 1. Randy Davison on deck. We're in the bottom of the second. Popped up. Castine coming over near the fence. It's out of play.
All right. Scores him on a base hit. Hit it hard, Ricky. Come on, Ricky.
Champagne delivers. Garceau hits a foul.
Use the whole field. That's the way to hit it.
Pitch. It's back to Champagne. Champagne will take it unassisted. He tosses it to Kaiser as he saw that Garceau wasn't running. So the score after 2 full. Garceau's Auto Sales 3, Baker & Sons 1. Sherman Tank Rabidou leading off for Baker & Sons in the third. It's the first pitch into center field for a single. That brings up the first sacker, Eric Kaiser. He takes strike 1, hits the back of the mat. Palmer delivers, hit back to Palmer, he'll look for 2, goes to Haley to first, in time, yes. Double play. Brings up the shortstop, jammer John Amell, just misses, ball 1. Strike, 1-1, that one just hit. Too much art, 2-1. Strike 2, 2-2. Too much art. Ball 3, 3-2. And a payoff pitch. Swung on. Hit up the middle. One of several Baker & Sons players with consistent home run power, Scott Baker. It's a deep to left center. Lamberton back in front of the K&L Plumbing sign. He hauls it in, and it's still a 3-1. We're going to the bottom half of the third. Shortstop Randy Davison. the first pitch in the bottom of the third into right field to Castine. And Davison on with a single. I'll bring up Jim Davison, the right center fielder. He hit the first pitch deep to right center. It's going, gone. Another home run for Jim Davison. That's about 3 in his last 5 or 6 at-bats. As we said, he had 2 in the last game. That gives it a 5-1 lead here for Ubalds Noco, or Garceau's Auto Sales as they're known this year. Pete Harrigan steps in now. He says that looks like fun, and he hits it deep to left, but not deep enough as Scott Baker hauls it in. 1 out. Batter now the catcher, Jeff Roselle. Roselle, first ball hitting, he drops it into right field. And it brings up Budweiser Ben Haley. And Champagne delivers. Haley takes a strike. Everybody been hitting the first pitch lately. Haley takes strike 2. He's down 0-2 in the count. That's out of play. That's going to be strike 3. Foul ball on third strike. Out of play is an out. With 2 down, it'll bring up Mark Tatro, the left fielder. Champagne delivers. Strike 1.
Now you hit a hole, Marky. Come on, Mark.
Fly ball. Pulled down by Eversole. It's 5-1 after 3 full. Garceau's Auto Sales leading Norm Baker and Sons.
Come on, bat him, guys. Come on, come on, bat him.
Bobby McCory leading off the 4th inning. His team down by 4. 5-1. Baker and Sons leading in this quarterfinal series. 2-1. This is the best of 5 series. If Baker and Sons comes back to win this, the season is over for Garceau's. Neither of these teams wanted to play each other in the first round of the playoffs. But based on the standings, they had to. Baker and Sons are defending league champions. And Garceau's this year beat Baker's in all 3 meetings during the regular season. That's flared foul. So they were both hoping that they'd have other opponents in the first round. Whatever happens in this series, a good team will be eliminated. Haley didn't get down on it. And McCory reaches on the error. Nobody out. Robin Vaughn steps in. Strike 1. It's the back corner of the mat. Ball. Jim Davison. 1 out. McCory tags, but he'll just draw the throw. I'll bring up Roy Ebersole now. Mike Boyer on deck. Here's a pitch from Palmer. Ebersole takes it deep. Ball 1. Runs up and drives it into right field. They'll have runners at the corners. And Mike Boyer at the plate now. Palmer checking with his defense. He delivers. Inside, ball 1. Boyer hits it to right field. Jim Davison will probably fire to the plate. Throws it high. Roselle hauls it in. 2 outs. On a throw to the plate, Ebersole goes into second. So Castine with a chance here to drive in 2. Ed Castine at the plate with 2 outs. Runners at second and third. Top half of the 4th. His team trailing by 4, 5-1. Inside, ball 1. Don Duval on deck. Hit on the ground to Davison. Over to Harrigan. In time with Castine with good wheels. Almost beat it out. A bang, bang play. It's 5-1. We're going to the bottom half of the fourth with Garceau's leading. Jeff Lamberton at the plate. Champagne delivers. Hits it to third. McCoy over to first. One down. We're in the bottom of the fourth. 5-1. Garceau's Auto Sales leading in the game. Chuck Palmer, a pitcher, steps in. Top of the order to follow. Here's Champagne's pitch. Palmer line shot up the middle. And he gets a single. Palmer asks for a courtesy runner, and Haley will run. This is Jerry Davison, the leadoff man in the lineup. It's it down to Castine, catches it in foul territory. Haley tags, goes to second, and he's in.
He's running for Chuck. Yeah.
The pinch runner now, Dave Letourneau, is running for Chuck Palmer. Rick Garceau, confidence in his ability to get a base hit here. Wants to drive in a run.
Shoulder up, Rick. Level.
He pops it up. And we're going to the fifth inning with the score holding at 5-1. Don Duval, EH, will lead off in the fifth. His team down by 4. 4 runs. Certainly not a big lead in slow pitch softball. 5-1 the score. Palmer checks his defense and delivers. Duval takes strike 1. Duval hammers it into left field. Tatro fires it in. Duval onto the single. That brings up the pitcher, Dave Champagne. It's the first pitch to Randy Davison. Goes to second. In time for the out. Randy Davison with a nice play, went deep in the hole and back a third. Fired to Haley covering for the out. That took a base hit away from Champagne because there's no way the Champagne would have been out at first. But with Duval on at first, they had the short throw to second, and that took an infield hit away from Champagne. 1 down, and it brings up the team manager and catcher, Sherm Rabadabadoo. Rabadoo chops it to Garceau. He goes to Haley. The first double play after 4.5, going to the bottom of the 5. It remains 5-1. Garceau's leading Baker and Sons. Shortstop Randy Davison at the plate takes strike 1. Soft liner to Baker. We have 1 out. That brings up Jim Davison, who homered his last trip up. He's 1 for 2 in the night. Line shot to Mike Boyer. We have 2 down. That brings up first baseman Pete Harrigan.
Let's go with 2. Go with 2, guys. Peter, come on here. 2.
Champagne pitches. Harrigan hits it foul. Strike 1. You caught it. Roy Ebersol with a diving backhanded grab. Took an extra base hit away from Harrigan. And after 5 full, it remains Garceau's Auto Sales 5, Baker and Sons 1. We have a pinch hitter to lead off the top of the 6th. Keith Rabadoo hitting for Eric Kaiser. Takes strike 1. Top of the order on deck. Ball 1-1. Rabideau hits it up the middle. Haley, nice backhand play. Throw to first in time. Yes. Nice play by the big guy at second. Ben Haley looking like Joe Morgan on that one.
Come on, Johnny!
Took the hit away from Rabideau, and it brings up the shortstop, John Emel. He takes strike. Scott Baker on deck. The big out gets you at the top of the order with nobody on and one out. Line shot back to Palmer. He hauls it in, 2 down. Nice play by Chuck Palmer. Took it off the ankles for the out. If you're going to bet, you're going to bet that Baker and Sons are going to score more than 1 run in this ball game. Scott Baker pounds it to Haley. Over to Harrigan after 5.5 to go to the bottom of the 6th with that 5-1 score holding up.
Good inning, big butter.
And Jeff Roselle takes ball 1 to start the bottom half of the 6th. There's a strike, 1-1. Goes the opposite way with it, but Baker catches up with it. Scott Baker, nice job there in left field. Covered some ground to catch that line shot. 1 out. And it brings up Ben Haley, second sacker. He hits it to third to McCory. McCory with a long throw, and he gets the limping Haley. 2 down. And bring up Mark Tatro, the left fielder. Here's a pitch from Champaign. Tatro goes to right center. It's going to be caught by Robin Vaughn, who does a nice job. So a couple of nice plays in the outfield. Good defense all around there. McCory made a nice throw too on Haley. So good defense there from Baker's. Shuts down the Garceau's team. In the 6th, we're going to the 7th inning. In this very fast-moving game with Baker's needing 4 to tie and 5 to take the lead. Third baseman Bobby McCory leading off the top of the 7th. Pitch from Palmer's in there for strike 1. Palmer comes right back at him with too much art. 1-1. Too much arc again, says Garrett. To 1 pitch. This one on hit by Haley. And McCory on with a single. Bring up the cleanup man, Robin Vaughn, with Roy Ebersole on deck. 5-1. Baker's a highly explosive team. Pitch to Vaughn is taking strike 1. Vaughn double checks. Thought it hit the inside, but it hit the inside of the mat. Too much arc, 1-1. Strike 2. And the 1-2 pitches hit to the middle of the infield for a base hit. Throw, what the heck they doing here? Throw should have gone to second. Man going to third didn't matter too much. Want to keep the force on. You want to keep the force on. That run at third doesn't matter. Run at second doesn't matter. But what was more important was that being on first, he was a potential force out at second. Roy Ebersole about her now. Nobody out. Strike 1. Mike Boyer on deck. It's popped up. Tatro. Nice throw from Tatro, but tag wasn't there. Throw was just off a little bit. Good throw, but off a little bit. And from that distance, that's a pretty darn accurate throw right there. So 1 out. 5-2. Vaughn stays at second. And Mike Boyer steps in with Ed Castine on deck. Pitch from Palmer is taken for strike one. On the line, Jim Davison over. We have 2 outs. 5-2 the score at Castine. Baker and Sons down to their last out.
Ricky, watch your line. Infield, still 1-1.
Pitch from Palmer. Inside, ball 1. Don Duval waiting on deck. Strike, 1-1. Hit down the third baseline. Throw comes to second. They're not going to worry about that run scoring. It's 5-3. Castine singles. He had Garceau breaking to his left. He kept raising his left foot as if he was going to hit the ball to the right side. And Garceau was leaning that way, and he pulled it down the line and by Garceau at third for the single. So brings the potential tying run to the plate. Dangerous Don Duval. Palmer delivers. Strike 1. Tying run at the plate. 2 outs. Top of the 7th. Game 4 in the best of 5. This would tie the series if Garceau wins. Five to 4. Duval on at second with the potential tying run. Well, the potential tying run is in scoring position for Baker and Sons. Earl Houck is going to run for Duval, and they're discussing whether or not to walk Champagne, but you don't want to put the go-ahead run on. Make him earn it. If it wasn't the go-ahead run, he would probably do it, but putting Champagne on, you'd put a force on at any base, but Champagne is the go-ahead run. You want him to earn his trip to the plate, to the bases. So tying run at second. Go-ahead run at the plate. 2 outs. 5-4 in the top of the 7th. Pitch from Palmer is in there. Strike 1. Sherm Rabidou on deck. Champagne. Fly ball to Tatro. He's back. He grabs it. And that's the ball game. 5-4 win for Garceau's Auto Sales. They trail 2-0 in this series, and now they've battled back to force a game 5. So it's going to come down to the 5th and final game to see who will go on to the semifinals. So that's the way it was here in A Division action in the Adirondack Slow Pitch League. A 5-4 win for Garceau's Auto Sales, defeating Baker and Sons.
Battle back.